Greetings, boys and girls! It is me, your good friend, Emperor Jonwayne Frankenstein. And it seems that you like my videos where I review different shows like Rick and Morty or Batman the Cape Crusader. And in particular, the Cape Crusader, you've got a lot of views because we were discussing whether or not it was woke. So I'm going to do another one. Now, I'll be honest. Superman has always been my least favorite superhero. He's, first of all, boring, generic, white bread, indestructible, has no weaknesses, overpowered, really boring stories because nobody can hurt him, nobody can beat him, blah, 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 blah. Most of the stories they had for him failed to impress me. So he's already got like 2 strikes against him where I'm concerned. But I got to be fair, and before I judge something, I've got to watch it. So today I'm going to review My Adventures with Superman, and I will tell you my honest opinion. And of course, since we did the Cape Crusader and we focused on whether or not it was woke, we'll have to focus on that with this one too, because I've heard a lot of people say that this was woke, but not as many people are complaining about this one as Batman. We'll get into that a little later, maybe. Now, first of all, we have to define what woke is. Now, the actual definition is of African American origin, a term which refers to a perceived awareness of social and racial injustice, caused to emerge from a state of sleep, stop sleeping, to become alert to or aware of, to cause to stir or come to life. Now, when we're dealing with media, a more popular definition is, of course, to have or be marked by an active awareness of systematic injustice and prejudice, especially those related to civil rights and human rights. And when it comes to media, we tend to use the phrase woke when the producers are purposely catering and rewriting characters to try to make them more appealing to diverse crowds by making them more minority focused, assigning them new races, adding them to the LGBTQ community, etc., etc., and sometimes pandering and even occasionally talking down to white straight men, to be honest. Well, and not all things that are woke are bad either. It's all but we'll get into all that. First of all, this series, all the main characters have been probably racially recast. I mean, Jimmy Olsen and the Chief are clearly made African Americans. Lois Lane is probably of some sort of mixed race. She has darker colored skin. Whoever's watching can project themselves into it. Now, her father's white, but they never show her mother, and of course she does have darker skin. Now, Superman is one of the main characters that may technically be white, but he's still an illegal alien. So, there's that. A lot of racial recasting and a lot of not native white people. I mean, the few white men they have are Lex Luthor, also known as Alex, who's a villain. Lois Lane's father, who's morally questionable and somewhat of a villain at best. So there's that. Then, not only is there the racial recasting of Live Wire and Heatwave, they also made them both, well, lesbians in a very public, open, or very public lesbian relationship. And of course, then there is Monsieur Moulin and the Brain, two villains that I actually love quite a bit, and they are blatantly a gay couple. Now, I like what they did with them. They had them give up their evil ways and become allies to Superman. And of course, I mean, Gorilla Moolah, he is a communist French gorilla super genius with a machine gun that has a beret given to him directly from Fidel Castro. I mean, wow, that's great. And then the brain is an arch villain that's a brain in the jar. Now, makes you wonder what kind of. I mean, they have a loving relationship, and obviously it's sapiosexual more than anything, I'm sure, because, well, the brain kind of lacks the anatomy for kinky stuff. So, as far as that goes, it would seem that it does qualify on the basic level as being what we'd call woke. However, that alone does not define whether it's good or bad. I find the artwork to be great. It looks a lot like the anime artwork that I'm used to seeing when I watch anime, and I love anime. I thought the artwork was great and beautiful. And frankly, I was shocked. Superman isn't the main character. It focuses equally on Superman, Jimmy Olsen, and Lois Lane, with Lois Lane probably being the actual main character. They don't do stupid things where, just because he wears glasses, they can't recognize him. They don't do all those dumb cliches. And then Superman himself is actually vulnerable and human and struggles with his relationship, with his attraction to Lois Lane, with surviving, with getting by, with getting people to like him and care about him, with figuring out how to use his powers. It's actually really well written. It's actually really enjoyable. I, like I said, don't even like Superman, but I liked this series quite a bit. I enjoyed every episode. I thought it was fun. I thought it was good. I thought it was well animated. I thought the artwork was great. The stories was great. The script writing was great. The reimagining of the characters was great. And they took my least favorite superhero and made me have a vested interest in him and care about him. I was so thoroughly impressed, I can hardly even believe it. And the fact that I have to say this was woke did not harm it whatsoever. It may maybe even helped enhance it. I don't know. It didn't feel like it was pandering. It didn't feel preachy. It didn't feel like it was talking down to people or saying that white men were bad or anything like that. Instead, it had an abundance of representation for everybody. There's a character anyone could project themselves into. So, I really got nothing bad to say about it. I liked this series, but please don't take my word for it. Watch a couple episodes and decide for yourself. That is the super thing to do. Until next time.